Hello, my name is Brandy Hill, and I'm here to talk to you about an issue that people have been debating since ancient Roman times: male circumcision. This controversy has traveled the globe and is alive and well today here in America. In the past, parents didn't have the choice or get to make a decision about this matter. Their doctors did. But today, as modern parents, the power is in your hands. You should have an informed conscience when making this decision. And is it really even your decision to make? Today, I'm going to address some arguments that people may make in favor of circumcision. I'll discuss pain management methods and the effects on a newborn. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, an estimated 1.2 million baby boys endure this surgery each year here in America. We as Americans are the only country to circumcise over 60% of our sons for non-religious reasons. I think that the saddest thing about this statistic is that before the year 1980, there was no pain relief given to the infant. In fact, most physicians neglected to even acknowledge that the infant child felt pain. Currently, the common pain relief methods include methods such as a pacifier soaked in sugar water, oral acetaminophen, otherwise known as common Tylenol, or lidocaine creams such as EMLA, or a dorsal penile nerve block that is injected. These medications come with their own risks and side effects, such as blue baby syndrome, where the baby is lacking sufficient oxygen, skin discoloration, bruising, bleeding, and swelling at the site of the infection. You'd think that if doctors were willing to risk having your infant deprived of oxygen, then at least the pain medication would be effective. However, I'm sad to report that none of these methods fully protect your son from pain. There are countless side effects to the surgery itself. Other than the obvious risk of infection, your infant may also suffer from oozing and bleeding at the surgical site, irritation of the penile gland, damage to the urethra, scarring to the penis, pain during erection, too much scar tissue requiring another surgical procedure, too much or too little foreskin removed, or the accidental complete removal of the skin covering the penis. And during unmedicated circumcisions, there's a high risk of gagging, choking, and vomiting during the surgery itself. After the surgery, there's a very high statistical interference with breastfeeding and maternal bonding. Also, according to studies performed by the American Academy of Pediatrics, there's evidence that shows short and long-term psychological effects correlated with circumcision. Well, why would a parent decide to circumcise their son? Why do we as a nation believe that it's our right to permanently disfigure these babies without their consent? Parents are convinced to put their newborn sons through this procedure, most of the time by doctors or well-meaning, undereducated family members and friends. Expectant parents often hear statements such as, "Your son will stand out in the locker room," or "If his father's circumcised, then the son should be circumcised," or "Aren't you worried about personal hygiene issues or an increased chance of urinary tract infections?" Or quite simply, they may be told that it just looks better. And to this point, I would like to say that in some people's opinions, larger breasts look better. That doesn't necessarily mean that as a parent, I should have the right to give my child breast implants. As far as increased chance of UTIs, or urinary tract infections, the American Association of Pediatrics states that there is not significant evidence to prove that circumcision lessens UTI infections significantly enough to warrant routine infant circumcision. In fact, after countless studies, the evidence shows that uncircumcised and circumcised boys suffer equally from UTIs. And according to the male and female circumcision and medical, legal, and ethical considerations, they state that a penis denuded of its protective skin is more susceptible to dirt and other contaminants, making it less hygienic to have your penis circumcised. In today's world, finding access to cleanse oneself is no longer a challenge, and therefore personal hygiene is no longer an issue. I would like to take a moment at this point to point out that these reasons are the exact same reasons in favor for female circumcision, an act that Americans have offered many African women safe haven from. I ask you, who's protecting our newborn American sons from the same genital mutilation? As far as standing out from a crowd, being that the American Association of Pediatrics has declared that circumcision is cosmetic surgery, most insurance companies are no longer paying for the procedure, and therefore every year fewer and fewer infants receive this circumcision. So I believe that this current generation is going to be equal number of circumcised and uncircumcised males in the locker room. And as far as the son should look like his dad, I ask you, how much time in a young man's life should he be looking at his father's penis? And I don't think that any child, when told that the reason his penis looks different than his father's, would be upset to hear that his foreskin was not removed as a child. I like to ask you, if you're aware of these issues, and if you know the side effects caused by this, would you still make this very personal, very permanent decision for your child? Is it really your place as a parent to decide which organs your child should be allowed to have? What's next? Is it all right for parents who don't like their children's nose or chin to have them altered with cosmetic surgery? Are you willing to take responsibility for putting your son through such treatment? I know I'm not. Today, we've talked about pain management, social ideas, and the effects on your infant. And I ask you, do these babies understand why the very people who are supposed to protect them would place them in harm's way? I think not. I think these babies only understand the pain, horror, and suffering they must endure at their parents' request. Thank you for your time.